So before I play this next song, I would like to read for you an excerpt from the book that inspired it, Mr. T by Mr. T, an autobiography. Um, it's the best 25 cents I've ever spent. If you can find it on the internets, I recommend picking it up. I don't know. It's a book about Mr. T by Mr. T. You can't get much better than that. So just very quickly. So, you want to meet Mr. T, personal and up close, the man with the gold, not just around his neck, but deep down in his heart. Well, this is my story about my life, and I wrote it myself without a ghostwriter, because if I had a ghostwriter, my book would have become his story instead of my story. I am sure there will be other books about me, but they won't tell it like it is. So if you want to read the honest-to-goodness truth about Mr. T, this is it. But on the other hand, if you want to read lies, scandals, and half-truths, then read somebody else's point of view about Mr. T. I'm going to skip a little bit. At the very end, he gives some advice to the children, who he likes very much because they are pure of heart and they are not, what does he say? They are innocent, pure, and honest, and virgin minds. And then he says, now, as their hero, my advice to them is this. Stay away from drugs, listen to your parents, and stay in school. I don't want a kid to try to be tough like me, but to have a tender heart. Be a scientist, a doctor, an astronaut, because everybody can't be Mr. T. For a person to really truly be like me, that person would have to be a child of God who ain't afraid to take a stand, because if you don't stand up for something, then you will sit down for anything. Read on, open your heart, enjoy the book, and most important, go in peace, my brothers and sisters. Mr. T, everybody. So this song I wrote because I needed to write a happy song for a songwriting contest, and this book made me really happy, you guys. It's called I Pity the Fool. I used to get upset over giant paper cuts and math equations. Nothing stuck in my craw more than dogfights and shopping malls and tax evasion. And stupid vampire movies and home foreclosure and paparazzis. And 50 Shades of Grey and doing my taxes and losing at Yahtzee. But anymore, these things don't seem to bother me. Ever since I started hanging out with Mr. T, he told me to stay out of drugs and drink my milk and treat my mother right. And I pity the fool who disagrees. I disliked Lady Gaga for her wacky costumes and that stupid hair of hers, and it felt like George R.R. Martin deliberately killed off all my favorite characters. I disliked all the people I had to ride with on the commuter bus. If Nancy Grace and I were to meet, I would have kicked her in the uterus. But my attitude has had a total overhaul since Mr. T told me how to forgive them all. He said, let the naysayers nay, I don't care what they say, it's all jibber jabber anyway, and I pity the fool who cannot rhyme. He said, I must move on, got to help more kids, I've got to spread my knowledge. I said, T, please don't go. He said, hold it, kid, you graduated college. He said, you know all that I know, I can't teach you nothing, I swear it's true. Go out and live your life, because there's so much goodness in the world for you. You go watch as Bob Ross paints himself some happy trees, and those happy cows on TV make you happy cheese. And then he dug in his spurs and rode into the sky on that thing from the never-ending story. And I pity the fool who mess with T. Thank you. Thank you very much.